Hello. Hello. Greetings, my beloved. Dear ones, my dears. Today, I want to tell you about retrograde Mercury, our beloved and desired. Several times a year, Mercury turns retrograde for us. So, in April, the next month, from April 1st to April 25th, Mercury will again move in the opposite direction. As you know, Mercury governs communication, technology, phones, travel, everything we say, talk about, commerce, deals, documents, all our written communications, meetings. That's all Mercury. And when Mercury moves in reverse, our trips, meetings can change, be canceled, or postponed. There can be mistakes in documents. Usually, as I always say, this is all about redoing. You might change your mind, or someone else might. For example, you have a deal, you agreed, received a deposit, and people change their minds. Or you see something better and change your mind about buying that apartment or car. Keys can be lost. You can lock the door with the key inside. Phones can be lost, information can be lost. During the last retro Mercury, thousands of my emails got deleted, so save your information on your computer. It's undesirable to buy technology in April. If you want to buy, do so before March 19th because Mercury starts slowing down from March 19th, entering the so-called shadow period, when you can already feel the influence of retrograde Mercury, even though it hasn't turned yet. But it's very good, for example, to go back, because retro means back, to the old, to the past, to return to some matters, redo them, improve, change your plans, modernize, restructure, refinance. All this is very good, and to finish a process that has been going on for several months is very good during this retrograde Mercury. This period lasts, despite retrograde Mercury lasting until April 25th, but the shadow period lasts until Mercury picks up speed and moves forward at its usual speed again. This will be until May 14th. So from March 19th to May 14th, be careful and attentive. This doesn't mean you can't do anything. Check documents, double-check information. So don't worry if a meeting doesn't take place or is postponed. It might even be for the better due to retrograde Mercury for you. It's undesirable to have planned surgeries, especially cosmetic ones, because you'll want to redo them. You won't like the result. But, of course, if it's urgent, we do it. I myself had surgery during the last retro Mercury at the end of December when it couldn't wait. So do what's urgent. What else I want to say is, you can't start. When Mercury is retrograde, you can't start any process because it will move very slowly and poorly. This is very important. So don't plan from March 19th to May 14th or precisely from April 1st to April 25th. Don't plan the start of anything. For example, don't register a business, don't open a business, don't register a company. This is highly undesirable. From April 1st to April 25th, it's undesirable to sign important documents, contracts. If it's for a job, to start working, then I think it's possible. Because a job is not something for life. You can change it in a year, 2 or 6 months. You'll find something better. But if you need a job right now, of course, sign that contract. During retro Mercury, know that something might disappoint you or not be as promised. Something will be off. Somehow, you'll change your mind about staying at this job during retro Mercury. Maybe you'll return to an old job or come back from maternity leave because retro Mercury might bring something back. That which you've already done. So, if someone makes you a promise, it's likely not to be fulfilled. And so, I'm often asked about marriages, whether you can get married or engaged during retro Mercury. You can, because Mercury is not the planet of marriage, Venus is the planet of marriage. During retro Mercury, there might be a mistake made in the marriage certificate. Your surname might be misspelled, for example, or someone might be late to the wedding, or you might get stuck in traffic, be late to the registry office, or forget the rings. Well, some such moments might occur during retro Mercury, but getting married and engaged is possible. So reselling something is possible, retaking an exam is possible, returning to old relationships is possible, and as a rule, during retro Mercury, all our exes remember us. Or you find out something about your ex. This can also happen. For what? Well, it might be very good, by the way. Retro Mercury is for renewing relationships or, reconsidering or seeing again and deciding to be with this person. That's why we are returned to our relationships, to see and reconsider them again. So, which sign will this retrograde Mercury be in? In Aries, in the sign of Aries. And Aries is the sign of beginnings, of courage. And here, maybe you can't start, but there can be courage in redoing your plan, changing your plan, what you're planning to do, for example, in May, or declare something about the past about yours. Or Aries is also, on the axis of relationships. A sign that is on the axis of relationships may be precisely the renewal of relationships. But any plan adjustments, any revision, any return to your desires and intentions, Aries is also the sign of intentions. That would be very good. In April, reconsider whether you are in agreement with yourself. Your desires and intentions, are they really what you want? Maybe they need to be adjusted. That will be very great in April. So, there. In the sign of Aries, besides retrograde Mercury, we will also have the Sun and the Moon will pass through, and the karmic node and Venus will be in the sign of Aries, and on April 12th, Mercury will conjoin with the Sun. The Sun symbolizes career, work, our vitality, so there might be some client from the past, or a project that needs to be redone, or a colleague from a previous job might call you. Something might be related to work. On April 25th, Mercury will conjoin with the karmic node. There might be a review of goals, adjustment of your plans. Because after all, the karmic node Rahu, the north node, it shows it's the node of the future. And something related to the future might change. On April 19th, retro Mercury will conjoin with Venus, the planet of love, relationships, and money. And here, there might be a return to past relationships, meeting someone from the past. Something like that, like a reconciliation, a truce maybe, or some money might return from the past. And on April 9th, we'll also have retro Mercury conjoining with the Moon. The Moon symbolizes emotions, home, family. Here, there might be an emotional day, related again to some, family plans, or related to real estate. Maybe you need to move again, if you're renting an apartment, for example, to a more lunatic place of residence. And the Moon also symbolizes the mother, and here, there might be some issue might arise again, related to your mother. So, shall we go through the zodiac signs? In which house of the horoscope will retrograde Mercury be passing through? Aries, naturally, in your sign, in the first house for you. And the first house is, yes, as I've already said, the house of beginnings, the house of intentions, and the sector of I, your body, how you look. Here, maybe you'll change your style to one that was previously yours, or you'll decide to return to the form, the body that you had before. Very good, by the way. You'll manage, for example, to lose weight, or again, somehow be as you were before. Look as you did before. That's very good. Maybe you'll change your surname to the one you had before. Ladies can change to their maiden name. Maybe you'll reconsider your role, how you present yourself, how you show yourself. Here, there might be a revision. Relationships, too. You can connect with someone from your past, or someone might write to you, call you, and how personal romantic relationships, as well as business relationships, can also be renewed. For example, you previously collaborated with someone, and they might contact you now wanting to collaborate again. There might be court cases if you have or had them, then this period, April, is very good for an appeal, for restoring reputation, and you might. The first house is when we think about something, plan, think, so you might change your mind, change some plans. A delay in the start of something, a delay in the beginning of something. If you plan something, it might be delayed. Meetings might be canceled or postponed. Maybe you were planning to meet someone somewhere, to fly, to drive, or negotiations. By the way, you can renegotiate, but not sign documents. Also, if you have been negotiating for some time, 2-3 months, for example, if it's been going on for a long time, then you can conclude and sign. But not now. If you just started, then no, then it's not allowed. Some work contract, yes, I think you can sign it because it's something like, if you really urgently need this job right now, then we don't look at retro Mercury. Sign it because you know that. You can change this job later if you need to, but be sure to check the contract. Be sure to read it several times because there might be something that you'll be disappointed about later. So that's your retro Mercury. Tauruses. Tauruses, you have retro Mercury in the 12th house of the horoscope, and the 12th house is the house of the past. And retro Mercury takes us to the past too, so here the energies really connect, and this might be a return to some old problem or to past relationships.